Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card video is a little bit different. Super stoked about it. This topic I'm really excited about. This is getting to know the real you, who you truly are. Because the reason why I wanted to do this is to remove the mask of other people's opinions of you. There's so many pick a cards that are like, oh, this person's opinion of you here. And I feel like those are very influential on us because a lot of the times we take other people's opinions as truth and we start to define ourselves by other people's opinions and we allow that to cloud our own, and sometimes we get consumed by these false beliefs of ourselves. And in this reading we're going to go beyond that illusion and into discovering who you truly are. So and again, don't let any pick a card or any other person try to define you. That's not even what anyone is out here trying to do, but sometimes we end up taking other people's opinions for truth. If this resonates with you, then that's perfect. And if you feel truth in it, then that is amazing. If not, just know your own self and know your own worth. But this is to help you if you feel like a little bit lost on who you are. Maybe you're very clouded by other people's opinions. This is in order to remove that mask and have a little bit more insight into who you truly are. So that is the purpose of today's video. And yes, hope you guys are super excited. I know I'm super excited. Right when I thought of this topic, I was like, oh, I love this. Okay, anyway, so if you guys are new to pick a card readings, here's a little quick rundown of how they work. So over here we have pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you're the most drawn towards. If you guys like to choose with crystals, I'll be throwing some crystals on there. But once you guys are choosing, you can scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card so you can skip ahead to your personal reading. But without further ado, let's add some crystals on these cards, starting now. All right, so if you guys like to choose with crystals, over here we have some smoky quartz. This is fluorite. This over here is citrine, and then this is some lapis lazuli. So again, take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you're the most drawn to. Once you're done choosing, you can scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card, and then you can skip ahead to your personal reading. So without further ado, let's hop right into this, starting now. All right, so if you guys chose pile number 1, this is going to be your reading about who you truly are. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so pile number 1, we have our tarot cards over here. I also have a couple more here that I'll be throwing on, and we have a few more cards to get through as well. But just starting off with the tarot at first, over here we have the Fool, then we have the King of Cups reversed, and then we have the Death card. I just want to mention, because I know some of you guys, if you don't know tarot, the Death card is actually a really good thing, so don't worry about that popping up there. So if we're talking about who you truly are, the Fool coming up here, this is like a really free-spirited type of person. So you're somebody who, you have a lot of energy. I feel like there's a lot always going on. The Fool can sometimes change his mind really quick though as well, because he's a bit of like he has this young energy where, also you guys probably won't age very fast. So as you guys get older, you might notice that people always comment about how young you look, which is a good thing as you start to age. So I feel like you guys will always have that youthful appearance when we have the Fool over here. So that is part of who you truly are, because you have and you encompass this youthful, exciting energy. I also see you guys as somebody that even when you're in your later years of your life, you're still going to be somebody that is so highly energetic and very highly spontaneous and just very excited. So the Fool kind of reminds me of somebody who's most likely a Sagittarius or somebody who's very spontaneous. So this can be Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra is also quite spontaneous, even Leo's. Aries is very spontaneous as well. It's a very Aries type of energy as well. Anything that's a very spontaneous zodiac sign is usually going to fall under this sort of category of type of person. The King of Cups being reversed over here, this can sometimes indicate that you're not in touch with your emotions, at least in the beginning part of your life, or your emotions are a little bit radical, especially when it's placed beside the Fool. So this can sometimes mean that we end up going through a lot of situations that are hard on us emotionally in our early life. So being beside the Fool, this talks about when you're young. So you might be somebody who's been through already a lot of emotional things early on in life, but this is actually developing you a lot. So the fact that, yes, you've been through a lot in early life, it might make you a bit of a rebel as well, or it could even lead to some addiction issues. Not for all of you, but for some of you, you guys might end up leading into a couple of addiction issues, maybe to like, certain substances, or always constantly being very flighty with people, or very like, you might ghost people sometimes and just like be off in your own little world, just like jumping around here and there. You could also make a big move later in your life as well, or maybe even, in your early adulthood. Early adulthood, I see you guys making a big move. So this can be when you move across your country, maybe even to a new country, or you just, you bounce around a lot. So there's a lot of like changing up sort of energy over here, but this is who you truly are. And so there's nothing wrong with this energy. I do want to mention that for you guys. Your soul just embodies this young energy, but you're going to grow so much from it because of that, the fact that you're going through a lot of emotional things early on in life, which isn't a bad thing. I do want to mention it's not a bad thing at all. In fact, these things help us grow, because anytime we face anything difficult or any obstacles in front of us, we end up growing. And the only way to grow is when we have things that we need to face and obstacles we need to face. That's the only time we ever grow as people. And then with the Death card next, this is indicating, I do want to mention for some of you who will struggle a little bit with a couple of addiction things in your early adulthood, it will actually completely transform and change, and you won't have that forever. It's just a phase, basically. So you're kind of like a rebel early on in life, and you go through massive transformation. The Death card is also indicating that you're somebody who naturally you're going to go through a lot in this lifetime, but I also want to mention that usually the people who go through a lot, especially in their early life, end up accomplishing really great things in their life as well, because they have to persevere through certain things, and this creates a lot of strength. For example, you go to the gym, you work out your muscles, and when you work out your muscles really hard, the only way that your muscles actually get stronger is because they rip and tear down, and then they get rebuilt back stronger, and that's how you grow big muscles at the gym, for example. So the fact that you guys are going through a lot early on and dealing with a lot, you're going to grow and become such a strong person as long as you persevere through that, as long as you push through that, as long as you don't give up because of it. So you have so much potential because of what your soul has come here to experience, what your soul has come here to do. Therefore, you have so much strength to create the life that you want throughout the rest of your life. The next two cards that we have here is the Great Achievement card. It is reversed, but I'll talk about why in just a second. And then we also have Peace. So this is an intention card, and this is an event card. So these cards are really cool. They have like the actual what they are at the top, and then a bit more information. It's kind of fun. Anyway, for you guys, the fact that we have Great Achievement, your soul has the potential to create this great achievement as long as you get through the early in life turmoil that you are going to be facing. As long as you persevere through that and allow it to be a strength rather than allowing it to be a weakness, you will absolutely, without a doubt, have massive great achievements in your lifetime. This is who you truly are, as long as you get through this, because this is almost like the preparation stage. And sometimes, you can face obstacles, and you can either let that obstacle take you over and use it as an excuse to never put yourself out there again. You can use it as an excuse to be, I don't want to say lazy. That's not really the right word that I'm looking for. But kind of fill in the blanks. Basically, you can use it as an excuse to no longer push yourself, or you can allow it and take it on, allow it to be your strength. And with that strength, you will absolutely achieve massive things. This Great Achievement card, this is achieving great things. I mean, that's just me playing around with the words, but you guys hopefully get my point. This is like being able to maybe own your own business and achieve, like overachieve in that business and create something that, is very big, very powerful, that you gain a lot from. This is also like a lot of self-empowerment, self-growth, great achievement in all areas of your lives, winning, getting to your goals, achieving whatever goal you set out to do with this. But the reason why it's upside down is because this won't occur if you allow these things to weigh you down and you don't just allow it to be a strength, which I know is a lot easier said than done, but this is just what the cards are saying for you guys. So this is who you truly are. You're somebody who has so much energy and so much potential. The Fool has unlimited potential. He's represented by the 0 because the 0 has no number on it, because it's supposed to technically symbolize infinite potential. Like, he's not tied to one specific number. There's infinite potential. So you guys are born with infinite potential. Peace over here, this is talking about making peace with your past, is very important. It's going to play a huge role into who you are. You're somebody who naturally is a peaceful state. And so yes, when you go through harder things, it'll almost, turn you upside down for a little bit, because it's like, holy crap, you're somebody who's naturally a very peaceful person, but you've had to already go through a lot. But the point is to return to that natural state of peace, and it will get you to where you are desiring to go. Then we also have the Alchemist card, and that is reversed over here. So the fact that Alchemist is reversed, Alchemist is when you take lead and turn it to gold, basically, and then there's also a lot of other symbolism, spiritual symbolism that goes into alchemy, that goes beyond, and basically it's a metaphor, turning lead into gold. So this is being able to take any situation. For example, this is directly talking about the kind of like turmoil or events that you're going through early in life, and being able to turn them again into gold, rather than taking the lead. And yes, it's an unfortunate event. It doesn't seem like it's worth a lot, but you're somebody who can transmute energy, and you need to learn how to do that. This is why you're going through this, is so that you learn and teach yourself how to turn these crap events into your absolute strengths and allow them to become your gold. So this is making peace with the past. You're somebody who naturally is a very peaceful person, who's supposed to return to that state. You're somebody who's able to transmute energy. You're somebody who's supposed to take any pessimistic situation and turn it into a very optimistic situation, something to smile about. You're somebody who naturally has that. The Fool is somebody who is naturally at a state of constant happiness. He has no care in the world. Unfortunate things happen around him all the time, and he just keeps going with his happy, joyful self, and he keeps just adding like spontaneous, fun, loving energy throughout the world. This is what you're supposed to do as the Alchemist. So this is just a reminder of like, you can take life 2 different directions, but who you truly are is this, and always remembering that is going to bring you really good fortune. Then we also have the Underworld card, and we also have the Eternal Child, which is exactly like the Fool card. So this card coming up represents the Fool so much. It's almost exactly like the Fool card, because the Eternal Child is like, you have this youthfulness about you. You always have this like childhood innocence. Some people might even look at you like an innocent person, even though they have no idea what you've been through, but they might look at you and think, wow, this person is, privileged, or they might look at you like, oh, you have nothing to worry about, you don't have any problems, just upon first glance, because you have this youthful, innocent appearance about you, and this energy about you that's youthful and innocent, but yet you've been through so much. And so, it's an interesting juxtaposition, and I feel like you get misunderstood a lot by people because they don't realize how much you've been through. Also, with this Underworld card, this is talking about how much you've been through. Like, you've seen the nitty-gritty. You've seen all areas of life. You've seen the light and the dark. You're somebody who's been in both, but yet you're somebody who has this natural youthful optimism this fun-loving energy, this spontaneous energy, this wild, exciting, like take on life in a very fun, exciting way type of energy. But you might get misunderstood a lot. And then we also have the waterfall, which says effortless, and then we also have stone people, which is vigilance. All right, so effortless being the waterfall that's over in this area, the fact that it's even near the great achievement card, which I didn't like place it there, I'm just placing the cards like how they're supposed to be in this particular order, because this was the next card that came out, so obviously you put it that side. So it's not like I just randomly placed it there. So just saying, the fact that it's coming out on this side of the spectrum, this is saying that your great achievements are supposed to come effortlessly. The reason why it's upside down is because most of you guys watching this are probably still in the stage of where you're dealing with a lot right now. And so you're still going through the transformative process. You're still supposed to return to this peace. You're still supposed to transmute this energy to becoming back to this youthful, eternal child, optimistic kind of state. And as you do this, all of a sudden you'll notice that great things, the achievements, the goals that you desire will come effortlessly to you. It's like they are naturally supposed to come to you this lifetime, but it's only when you return to that kind of like natural energy of who you truly are, instead of letting the circumstances control you. Then we also have stone people of vigilance, upside down. So again, this is kind of just talking about you are supposed to persevere through these harder things. Don't let yourself become a rock. Don't let yourself fall into becoming a stone person. You're supposed to be this youthful, and I think you will have times of when you do go through moments that make you become a little bit, shut off to the world, because the stone people is basically like unemotional. They've been through a lot, but they're able to get through a lot because the fact that you've been through so much and the fact that you have this like stone outer wall means that you can persevere through so much. But it's about letting that inner energy of who you truly are still shine, the youthful, fun, spontaneous, optimistic self. So let's add just a couple more cards on here. These are the astrology cards. Find out any last information. It's going to take me forever to try to get these cards off the table. Never mind, I got them off decently fast. All right, so let me just add some more cards on here, find out some more stuff. Let's see if we have any fallout cards for you guys. Here we go. All right, so we have the 4th house over here, which is ruled by Cancer. And so this is talking about also being very emotionally connected to people. Don't emotionally disconnect yourself, because the King of, or was this the Knight or the King? Yeah, the King of Cups being reversed. This is like emotionally disconnecting from the world. This is when people kind of struggle with some addiction problems and stuff like that. This is kind of like healing around the home. When we have the 4th house, when we heal stuff around our family, also when we start to embrace our family and we really start to appreciate our family, when we really start to allow the love to pour out and we return to an emotionally stable place where we feel emotionally good. So this is about your whole life purpose here is to learn how to persevere your vigilance through not letting your emotions get out of control. This is about letting your emotions and being in control of your own emotions and allowing that, youthful self to come through. So this whole reading is kind of talking about your life purpose on top of, and I'm sure you guys have much of a deeper life purpose than what's coming up here, but one of the life purposes is about this, is learning all these things in order to achieve these great things. So, those great things will be different for each of you depending on what your goals are, but you as a person are someone who has such a beautiful energy about you, such a beautiful light, and don't let that dim. just because of what you have to go through early on in life. Just remember that those things are there in order to create so much strength for you, in order to achieve these great things effortlessly. That's why you are going through what you're going through early on in life. But just know that you guys have such a beautiful, exciting, young, childlike, and I don't mean childlike in a bad way. What I mean by childlike is you have such a great imagination. Children have humongous imaginations, and this is the people that do achieve really big things, is because they have such a broad, huge imagination. And so you're somebody who naturally has this big, grandeur type of energy. And yes, I can call it like childlike in a way, just because children are pretty much adults have it too, some of us. Some of us lose it though, but children all have this like really big imaginatory, creative energy. And so that's what I mean by childlike, is that you have this like youthful optimism, that kind of jazz. Not going to repeat myself, but I'm sure you guys get it. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, so pile number 2, let's get started in this reading. I have some extra cards up here that we're going to pull out at the end of your reading. But without further ado, let's hop right into this, starting now. All right, so pile number 2, this is about who you truly are. So over here we have the 2 of Pentacles, we have the High Priestess reversed, and then we have the 2 of Swords reversed. So let's get started into what all of this is. So starting off with the 2 of Pentacles, I feel like you guys are someone who really appreciates balance, fluidity in their life. You're someone who really wants to even out the scales and be really fair. I feel like you're somebody who's very caring as well. Like, you want to give to other people just as much as you want to give to yourself. I feel like you're very nurturing, you're very caring. I feel like you always are inclined towards helping people when they're going through a tough time. You're somebody who wants to be there and support, give advice. You're somebody who I think has very good advice to give as well. You're someone who's quite knowledgeable. You also might be somebody who's quite quiet most of the time, and you step up, when you feel like you're needed and when you feel like, you're supposed to be there. But for most of the time, I feel like you're more of a recluse type of person. And the reason why I say that is because we have the High Priestess here. She is reversed right now, and this can be that at an early age you guys have a lot of psychic abilities, but I feel like you guys might go through a time of really wanting to shut those off, because it might get a little bit scary, because I feel like you're very highly attuned to the other side, probably seeing spirits when you're younger, probably, communicating with spirits at a young age, or, getting a lot of dreams, prophetic dreams that end up coming true, that kind of stuff. Whatever sort of psychic abilities that you might be aware of. I feel like you guys, though, might go through a phase of disregarding that because of fear, or maybe because of what society tells you. The High Priestess being upside down right now shows me that you guys have either gone through a stage of denying that, or you're currently in a stage of trying to shut it down, but maybe you're thinking about opening that back up, especially since we do have the 2 of Swords reversed. So the 2 of Swords reversed is telling me that later on in life you're going to open this back up. Maybe you already have by the time you're watching this video, or you're still in the stage of being shut down and you're going to open up soon. So this is indicating that there is going to come a time, especially since the moon is over here, where you accept your spirituality, you accept your innate psychic gifts that you have very naturally. All of us do have psychic gifts. I do want to mention that. Every single person on this planet has the ability to have psychic gifts, but you're someone who naturally, when you're born, you have a higher sense to them, and you have a more opened sense to them. So yours were already quite developed, as a young kid, that maybe you didn't even try to develop them, but they were just already there. So I feel like you are someone who, you're very naturally a spiritual person. You probably had a past life being very spiritual, and this is why I feel like you're very inclined towards helping people when they're going through hard times, is because you can almost see the big picture when you're talking to other people and they are going through something, or they're going through any issues. You're someone who can see the big picture in this, and this is why you're very good at giving advice, is because even if you haven't been through the situation yourself, you can see the situation from the outside, and you can already understand the whole thing because of your psychic senses, because of your intuition. So I do want to point that out. But as you get older, I feel like you're going to accept it more and more. You're going to let down the fear. You're going to let down the guard of always feeling like the need to hide yourself. I also feel like as you get older, you're going to become less and less shy as well, because you're somebody who might be, you know, a bit less talkative, especially most people that are born with psychic abilities usually are more shy because they're more internal, so they're more introverted. As you get older, I feel like that shyness is going to go away as well, with that Two of Swords being reversed. So this is really who you truly are. You're not someone who is introverted. You're not someone who is shy. You're just someone who's incredibly attuned to people's emotions. So I do want to point that out. You're not supposed to be naturally shy, and I feel like you're going to let that down. I feel like that's a societal, you know, they always claim you and put you in a box of like, you're a shy person, you're a shy person. No, you're actually just incredibly in tuned and incredibly psychic, and so you tend to observe rather than talk. Because for you, you can feel things without having to ask people. You don't have to ask somebody, how's your day going? You can already tell. You're someone who, like, you walk up into a room and you already can feel the energy there. Therefore, you seem less talkative, or you just don't need to talk. You don't feel the need to talk. Sometimes it might make you feel shy at times because you already know so much, and that might make you feel uncomfortable. It's like you already feel so much from the person, and sometimes you might feel judgments, sometimes you might feel other things. Therefore, it might put you in a box of wanting to be shy because you already feel so much. You can even feel the negative thoughts of people, negative opinions from people. Therefore, you're kind of like, you know what I mean? But that's not a bad thing. Sometimes, though, I do want to point out, because this is something that I went through. So just because you feel on occasion negative thoughts from certain people, it doesn't mean that they're actually real sometimes, because sometimes, you know, we've picked up on these things where occasionally it was true. Occasionally, yes, this person might have been thinking negatively about us, and we pick up on it. Therefore, we kind of get into a shelled box. But that's not all the time. Just because you've picked up on it before, you might have now a fear of picking up on that. Therefore, you naturally feel that from people. You naturally maybe feel shy or unconfident around people just because of that in the past, but it doesn't mean it's true now. So sometimes it can just be your brain, you know, reliving in the past and recreating a past experience because you've already felt that before, but it doesn't mean it's always true. So I do want to mention that. Allow your confidence to shine, and as you get older, it will start to shine, and you will start to become more open and more free. Our next couple cards here is Spirit Reversed, which is Family, Friends, and Guides. And then we also have Energy Reversed, which is the Fear card. And so these actually play into this perfectly with what we're talking about. So I'm going to start off with the Fear card, actually, talking about energy, just to get that out of the way. So since you're so attuned to feeling energy with your psychic abilities, I feel like the reason why you shut them off is because of fear. And so you might start to dislike always being so sensitive to certain energies, because even when you're alone in the dark, you might feel energies around you. Therefore, it's a kind of fearful thing if you don't know what that is, and if you know, other people don't have this worry, other people don't have this problem, therefore you feel singled out, and it starts to get a little bit scary. As you get older, you're going to realize that that's totally normal. It's fine. You don't need to be worried about these things. You don't need to have fear around your abilities. You don't need to have fear around feeling energies around you. You're going to slowly get used to it, and I feel like you're going to take off the veil and open yourself back up again to your abilities. And then with this, my mouth is just making the funniest noises right now. Oh my gosh. I wear Invisaligns at night, and when I take them out, sometimes like I have a lisp going on and just my mouth is making funny noises. So I don't know if the microphone's picking that up, but it's kind of funny. Anyway, the Spirit card over here, up reverse, which is Family, Friends, and Guides. So I feel like, yes, you're around a lot of spiritual energy. This is again confirming that. I'm just going to point out the obvious. Definitely pointing out the fact that you are very surrounded by spirit, energy, that kind of jazz. The fact that it's Family, Friends reverse could indicate that you go through a period where you feel a little bit alone. You feel very different from your friends and from your family because of maybe your own abilities, or the fact that you just feel different because you don't feel like everyone else has the same abilities as you, which is true. I mean, not everyone has it to this extent that you guys have it. Everyone has a bit of psychic ability and they can develop it more if they want to, but you guys naturally came developed with it, and therefore it's a bit weird, and you're definitely different. And so there's a period of time in your life where you might feel a little bit singled out. You might feel like your family or friends don't understand you to your full extent. And maybe you have a couple people around you that do understand you, for some of you guys. But for the most part, it's like maybe you feel like, you know, you can help other people, you can connect with other people all the time, you can always give advice, but you feel like maybe people don't really understand you, and maybe it's hard for you to open up as well, because the Two of Swords being reversed means you're going to open up in the future, but in the current moment you might be a little bit closed off, or maybe in your past you were a bit closed off and you felt kind of singled out. And then we also have the dilettante reversed over here, which this is just talking about, I'm going to read what it says because it's on the shadow attributes. And so this right here says pretension to much deeper knowledge that you actually, or than you actually possess. So this might be a lack of confidence for a little while, or it could even be that some of you might let your ego get in the way, and maybe you feel even like extra developed when you could develop your abilities further, type of thing. So it could be talking in two different directions. This is just talking about don't let your abilities get the best of you with your ego or anything like that, because sometimes, you know, if we realize that we have all these special gifts, sometimes our ego can get in the way and be like, oh my God, I'm special, I'm blah, 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 blah. Don't let it go in that direction. I feel like most of you aren't going to go in that direction anyway. I do feel like most of you don't have that and don't need to worry about that for the most part. But also, this can be talking about like an unconfidence in yourself. So this can also be talking about maybe you're shy to share your abilities because you feel not confident about them because it's so different, and maybe you don't practice them enough with other people. So there could be a time of feeling unconfident in yourself or unconfident about it as well. But that's just saying that's a temporary thing. It is reversed. So eventually I feel like you're going to use your abilities very beautifully and very confidently as you begin to accept them and take down your own walls. And then we also have the Ocean card right here. Oh, and then we also have the Orphan card, which actually fits in very perfectly with our Spirit card reversed over here. So this is, again, talking about sometimes you might feel alone with your abilities, but don't worry, there is other people like you. So don't worry about that. But again, you might feel a little bit singled out once in a while. You might feel a little bit alone. There's times where I feel like you're going to be quite introverted, and you go kind of into a hermit stage where you might feel a little bit alone and far away from the rest of society. And you might close yourself off from the rest of society, but as time progresses, you're going to really accept yourself and let down your walls and reintegrate yourself. But there is going to be a period where you guys feel like being alone. It's almost like you maybe even choose to be alone because you are just a much more internal person. So this is who you truly are, which there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, you guys are very highly gifted. So, yes. The Ocean is also talking about your gifts right here, because the Ocean is ruled by water, which rules psychic abilities. And the Ocean is very correlated to the Moon, since the Moon pushes and pulls the tides, and the Moon is the astrological body that rules our intuition, psychic abilities, and all of that jazz. So this is also about really accepting your own emotions. Is going to make you feel even deeper. I do feel like you guys are a very deep person. So another thing about you is you guys are able to go emotionally so deep into things. Whereas some people, you know, aren't very good with emotions. You are able to feel so deeply, and this really helps your intuition be as strong as it is. So you guys are extremely powerful beings and extremely gifted psychics. Our last two cards over here is Volcano reversed and then Gaia nurturing. And so you're somebody who I think represses emotionally a lot when we have Volcano reversed. So This can mean that sometimes, you repress so much of your emotions because you don't want to hurt other people. Since you are so highly sensitive, you know very much how your own words can affect somebody else, and therefore I feel like you guys repress a lot of your emotions, especially in confrontation with other people. Instead of confronting other people, you instead just repress and swallow your own emotions because you don't want to hurt somebody else. You don't want to have that feeling of what it feels like to even bring someone emotional uncomfortability. You'd rather just you'd rather just nurture people and make people feel good, which is what we have over here. But this is talking about one of your life lessons is actually to learn how to let down your guard and open up your heart and accept the fact that sometimes we have emotions that need to be said that aren't very pretty. So this is about learning how to do that. So one of your life lessons in this lifetime is to learn that. That'll be one of the things that you have to go through, and learning how to be nurturing about your emotions, and that way you're going to feel really good about doing them. As you get older and as you progress into your later years, I see you as somebody who's extremely caring. Oh my gosh. And I feel like you're going to be, great with your love towards spirituality, and I feel like you're going to develop that more and more. Your love towards other people, your love towards the world, I feel like is going to grow tremendously as you get older. And so one of your lessons, though, is again kind of like learning how to speak those emotions, though, so that you don't, because one of the things that happens when you're somebody who doesn't like to speak about your emotions, they build up over time, and then they kind of, the top comes off eventually, which ends up being much more painful rather than just being honest about your emotions right when they happen. That's a lot more easy than not saying them at all and allowing this false illusion to build up and then exploding about it. So that's one of your guys' life lessons. And let's do these other cards to find out if there's any more information for you guys. All right, so let's see the cards that wanted to come up here. Oh my gosh, there's so many, but we're just gonna do these three that specifically, or four, there's four here. All right, so what do we have here? Oh, we have the waning gibbous moon over here reversed, and then we have the 10th house of ambition. We have this card of transformation in the 8th house, which is ruled by Scorpio. This one's ruled by Capricorn. And I'm not trying to guess your zodiac signs, I'm just pointing out what these cards are and what they rule. And then we also have Uranus, which is ruled by Aquarius. So for most of you guys, since you are very highly attuned psychically in this card reading, for most of you guys, you will be a water sign, which is either Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, most likely. It doesn't mean that you have to be that, because you can also be incredibly psychic as any other sign in the zodiac, but most likely it would be those signs. With the waning gibbous moon being reversed, this is also talking about psychic abilities. The fact that the moon even pops up is very psychic. This is also talking about going through a period of deep thinking and introspection when we have the waning gibbous. This is like when we start to really go internal. So this is again repeating that you guys are very internal beings. Then we also have the 10th house of ambition. So this is ruled by Capricorn. So this is also like, I feel like there's a lot of goals and aspirations and dreams that you guys have this lifetime. And those are very possible towards coming true, but it requires a lot of self-growth and self-transformation and letting down your guard, allowing the 8th house to come through. So the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, which kind of rules your intuition, your feelings, psychic abilities. Accepting those is going to allow you to really, this is the whole purpose. And I feel like things will come to you so easily as long as you accept who you truly are and the energy of who you truly are. Uranus being reversed. So Uranus is ruled by Aquarius. Uranus is the sign that kind of really governs astrology, things that are very different. So this is accepting the fact that yes, you're different, but also realizing that everyone is different. Everyone on this planet has their own uniqueness, and so do you, and you don't need to feel orphaned because of it. So the fact that this is upside down is accepting your own differences and your own weirdness. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, so pile number 3, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading, so let's get started. All right, so pile number 3. I do want to mention we're going to be throwing some more cards on at the end. We have lots of other cards to go through as well, but then we're also going to be using these at the end too, which is going to be fun and exciting. So first off, the energy that I'm getting right away is that you guys are overachievers, and I can already hear some of you guys in this reading down in the comments below being like, nah, I haven't achieved nothing so far. But your natural energy is that of an overachiever. You're someone who's also never satisfied with what you do, and this is what makes you an overachiever. So I'm going to explain what that means as I go deeper into it. So the 6 of Wands reversed over here, then we have the 8 of Cups right side up, and then we have the 3 of Pentacles reversed. And so what this is telling me is that anytime you guys accomplish something, this is your natural being. I feel like you guys are old souls. I do want to mention that for most of you guys who picked this pile, I'm really getting the energy of you guys being definite older souls. The 6 of Wands being reversed, though, this is showing me that anytime you achieve something that other people might look at and be like, wow, you did that, oh my gosh, that's so cool, and you're like, nah. Like, you're someone who is probably quite a perfectionist. You expect a lot from yourself. You probably expect more from yourself than from other people. And while you probably also have other people around you that probably really, want a lot for you, they want a lot out of you, you still hold yourself to a higher expectation. And so I feel like you guys almost have this energy of maybe not really fully completing things, or maybe also, I'm getting so many, I have so many things to say right now. Sorry guys, I have so much to say. So the 8 of Cups is like, yes, we've built this beautiful thing, but then we walk away from it. So like, not technically easily, but we're kind of like, moving on to the next thing, Because you guys complete something, you finish something that might actually be quite a great thing, but you never feel like it's good enough. You never feel like it's great enough. And I'm going to explain why. Is because you guys are old souls. You already have this energy in you that you've accomplished so much in your previous lifetimes. Therefore, pretty much anything that you do early on in this lifetime is never good enough. Because of course, when we're born, yes, we'll have some natural talents, but we always need to work on those to actually make them as good as they were in our previous lifetimes. Since you guys are an old soul, you've been through a lot of lives already. You've already had time to perfect so many things. Therefore, being born again and needing to relearn how to make your projects, your endeavors, your goals, the things that you do, learning how to make those great again is tedious and frustrating. So you guys early on in life will be frustrated at pretty much anything that you do, and you'll feel like it's never good enough. And so I want to point out that this is actually not a bad thing. It's actually kind of a really good thing, because you guys are old souls who've already accomplished so much. Therefore, you have very high standards for yourself when you do things. You'll never feel like it's good enough until you really work on it and bring it back to the level that it once was in your previous lifetimes. And so early on in your life, you're going to feel not worthy. I feel like you're going to feel maybe a bit unconfident as well. Although people don't see you that way. And I know this isn't about what other people see you as, but I just want to throw it in there because I'm getting that message right now, is people actually see you as like, wow, like you're really capable, you're really good at these things, and you'll look at yourself like, you kidding me? And you'll almost think that they're lying to you when they tell you that you're really good. I feel like you'll know it deep down inside, like, yeah, I'm pretty good for my age or whatever. But then also deep down inside, you're like, but it could be so much better. And so this isn't a bad thing, because this is what's going to actually push you, because you're this personality. This is who you truly are. You're somebody who has been masters of so much in your previous lifetimes. You are somebody who has that requirement for you in this lifetime, meaning that you have so much potential. There's so many great things that are at your fingertips this lifetime, but it'll be kind of tedious and maybe a bit frustrating early on in life because you have to relearn so much, and that's just kind of like, really, like, come on. So you're a bit of a perfectionist who might not show off your gifts, might not show off your power right away, but you have a lot within, and there's so much that's going to happen later on in your life. Also, you're somebody who I feel like really likes to work by themselves, but as you get older through life, I feel like you're going to, you know, you kind of also might stay like that. I'm really getting mixed messages here of like, most of you guys will actually be, you'll always want to do things on your own. So I feel like you're somebody who most likely won't work for another person, and if you do, it'll be very temporary. I feel like you're somebody who really wants to build something for yourself, build a business for yourself, because you're somebody who I feel like can handle a lot. You can take a lot. You can, like anything that people throw at you, you're like, I can do it. I can achieve this because you've been through so much. You're such an old soul, so that, you know, when normal obstacles come along, you're just like, that's nothing, it's fine. And yes, you might, it might still work up emotionally in you, but at the same time, you're like, I can do anything. You have this energy about you of like, almost indestructibleness, I want to say. I'm really picking up on this like perseverance of like, I got this. I really got this. And you almost stay neutral. Whether it's a happy situation coming at you, whether it's a negative situation coming at you, you have this like neutral quality about you, this very calm quality where you're just like, yeah, I got this, it's fine. And you're gonna have that throughout your life, is kind of like this almost neutral energy, which most old souls have, pretty much all old souls actually, will have this kind of neutral approach to life, where they're like, nah, that's not good enough. Don't get super excited about that, because you've seen so much already. Your soul has seen and felt so much already. Therefore, it doesn't mind what life throws at it. You know, your soul doesn't mind what it has to endure or encounter, because you've already been through so much. You're someone who doesn't mind being by themselves. You also don't mind the company of people. But when the Three of Pentacles is reversed over here, I'm really feeling like you guys are meant to work for yourselves in this life. I do want to point that out. So this is because of your energy. This is just the natural things that are going to occur in your life, because this is who you naturally are. You're someone who is an old soul, and because of that, you're going to have certain circumstances in your life that are going to play out. So that's why I'm just kind of mentioning the certain things that I'm seeing that are playing out besides the energy of who you really are, because this is like how it's going to play out, basically. Our next couple cards here are the Loving Woman, which is the People card, but it's reversed. And then we also have Consciousness, Present Power, right side up. So you're somebody who's very developed consciously. In your younger years, of course, we're all born into this like young vessel again with this young energy. And so in your younger years, you might not really notice this too much, but you will notice that you're more mature than other people your age. You will definitely notice that. As you get older, you're going to be wise beyond your years, and you also have this kind of like this energy about you that's very intimidating as well. And so you might have a lot of people that tell you, oh, when I first met you, I thought you were a dick or a bitch or like whatever. You might have a lot of people that tell you that because you have a very intimidating quality about you. This Present Power card is like, you have such an old soul. Therefore, you have this kind of like very powerful energies. You can see like the tiger and the lion that are right here. You have this very brooding, intimidating kind of like nature about you. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. In fact, it's it's quite awesome. It's quite, it's a good thing. It's a very good quality, but also, yeah, it does come with the couple, I don't want to call them consequences because they're not consequences, but it comes with its own, you know, unique things about it. For example, you know, people being intimidated by you. And then we also do have the People card reverse, which is the Loving Woman. And so sometimes I feel like you might come across as unemotional because you have this brooding confidence about you. Although sometimes I feel like you honestly, internally don't feel like you're confident because you expect so much from yourself. So this is what I meant by you're a high achiever, because you expect so much from yourself. Other people see you as confident though from the outside. They see you as like a very confident person, although internally sometimes I feel like you don't feel always at your best. As with age, though, as you start to get older this lifetime, the confidence will really start to appear, and you will also feel more confident. So if you are a bit older, you might already have this quality about you where you feel quite confident for your age. But if not, that'll just come as you continue getting older. So the loving woman here being reversed, this is telling me that sometimes you can come across quite unemotional, although I feel like you have such a big heart, but expressing it doesn't come across easy sometimes, or it just doesn't come naturally for you because you have such big ambitions, and I think you have such big goals for yourself and such big plans for yourself. And even if you feel like you don't have a plan right now, you still expect a lot from yourself. And even though, when you're younger, you might not feel like you can achieve it because you might feel so far behind compared to your past lives because, you're being born into this new vessel as an old soul, and you're like, oh, well, I'm so young and I have so much to learn. And so in your early years, you might feel like, oh, I can't accomplish a lot, but you might have big dreams. As you get older, you're going to realize that, yes, I can accomplish this, and yes, I'm going to do it no matter what, because that's just the standard that you hold for yourself. We also have Advocate reversed, and so the shadow qualities of this card says embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. So what you need to watch out for in your lifetime, just because of like this old soul type of energy, and because you're born, brand new, and we don't come with our fully developed talents every lifetime. You need to watch out for letting your ego try to climb the ladder at other people's expenses. That's one thing you'll need to watch out for. But not all of you will fall down that path, but I think all of you might face a little bit of that at certain times of your life. So just watch out for that. And instead, learn how to empower others rather than making alliances with people for personal gain. So just make sure that you focus on others. Otherwise, this will be a huge detriment, because this type of energy of who you are, this type of personality, can accidentally fall into this sort of energy. But as long as you're conscious of that, you'll have nothing to worry about. Then we also have the seed, and then we also have the box. These cards look very similar. So the seed is like, you guys are always excited to plant new ideas and to grow something. You guys have big dreams and you're here to make them happen. The seed card is like, you're here to create. You're here to be creative. You are here to lead, and you're not here to follow. The box is sometimes you might feel like you are boxing yourself in. This is also reminding you not to box yourself into one thing, because I feel like you're somebody who wants to plant a lot of seeds. You want to plant a lot of things. You want to be doing a lot. And so you're here to almost break the societal box that a lot of people put others in. And so maybe you're going to have parents that tell you, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Maybe you have friends that tell you, pick one thing, or like, all that jazz. You're someone who's like, no, breaking out of the box, not going to do that. Our other cards here is the Winter Solstice Reflection, and then we also have Dragonfly of Emergence. And so Winter Solstice and Reflection, this is like remembering who you were in the past and starting to really bring out those talents in the present. And then also with this Dragonfly of Emergence, this is also like re-emerging. So you're an old soul. Yes, this is about reinvigorating, reigniting, and emerging from and really feeling your soul and getting to know and realize that the reason why you seem this way early on in life is because you're an old soul. All this stuff that I was saying in the beginning, and then emerging with that power. And, not letting it get the best of you, not doing things for personal gain. Also focus on other people, because sometimes you might lack the focus on others. You might be very focused on yourself because, yes, you came here with big goals, big dreams, big ambitions, but you need to remember to also focus on others. This is why the Three of Pentacles is also reversed. So let's do some of these cards and see what else we have going on for you guys. Ooh, we have Gemini popping out. That's fun. So some of you guys might be Geminis. Some of you guys just might relate to the qualities of Gemini. You guys don't have to be a Gemini in order to listen to this reading. It's just, there's deeper meaning behind Gemini that I'll get into in a second. All right, I have one more card here. So this is the 11th house of society. So again, this is about embracing society and not shutting off for personal gains or personal efforts. The fact that Gemini is coming in, you might have this dualistic quality this lifetime, and I'm really seeing from this card of like merging the past self with the current self. Don't try to live in the past, and don't let the past hinder you. Because of the fact that you're an old soul, you might be very focused on trying to master all of the things that you've mastered in a past lifetime. So this might be like you might become very inclined and very curious to learn so many things. But this is about embracing that and combining it with what you want to be and do this lifetime. So I feel like you guys are going to be very knowledgeable. Wisdom is going to be something that attracts you very much. And the reason why it attracts you is because in the past, you've already had to learn all of these things. You've already mastered them. So knowledge for you comes very easily. You retain knowledge very well. And it attracts you because you've already been this, and it almost has this connection to you to learn so many different things because it's who you were in previous lifetimes. And then with this societal card being reversed, again, we talked about this a little bit. This is about integrating society and not just doing things for the self, because yes, you have big goals. So for a lot of the times you might be very focused on your own ambitions and your own goals, and you might not focus a lot on other people, but this is about learning how to focus on other people as well. So it's one of the challenges that you're going to be facing this lifetime. So that is, whoo, I just hit my little baby orchid. Anyway, so that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 3, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, so pile number 4, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading. So let's get started. All right, so pile number 4, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off here with the Ace of Swords, then we have the 9 of Cups, the Ace of Swords is reversed, and then we also have the 9 of Wands right side up. So right off the bat, I'm getting a vibe that you guys are a little bit attached to the material world when I have the 9 of Cups up here right off the bat. So I'm getting from you guys that there is a sort of material attachment for you guys, and so who you really are might be a little bit masked or a little bit clouded right now, especially because we have the Ace of Swords reversed and we can see these clouds over here. I feel like you're almost clouding your true self by surrounding yourself and putting too much attachment and too much of your desire into material things. And you're almost putting your confidence into materialistic things. I feel like you guys, and I don't want to make this sound negative. There's so many positive things, but I'm just starting off with this because this was the most like abrupt thing that came up. You guys might put your confidence in what you wear or what you have or the car that you drive or the house that you own or, again, like the clothes that you wear or what you look like. I feel like you guys are being a little bit clouded right now because you're putting too much of your time and appreciation into outer material things. With the 9 of Wands over here, this is showing me that you guys, you have been through a lot and you're almost trying to cover up your wounds. You're trying to cover up, you're trying to almost mask the negative parts of yourself with material things so that you come across this certain way. And it's almost like kind of wearing a mask so that you don't have to confront your true self, or like so that you don't really need to. I feel like you guys don't want to be seen as someone who, like, there's an image that you guys don't want to have, and so you kind of cover it up with material things, and I see kind of like a mask happening over here. So who you guys truly are, the reading is maybe even having like trouble picking up the truest sense of you, because I feel like it's a little bit masked and a little bit clouded at the moment. It doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. It just means that at the moment you guys could be too putting too much of your energy towards material stuff rather than putting it towards your own personal internal self. So that is coming up here. I want to add more cards on here. We're going to look at all aspects of this, but kind of right off the bat, that's what is coming up here. If this isn't resonating for you guys, definitely maybe pick a different pile. If this is resonating, let's get deeper and find out what is going on. So then we have over here cycle of increase, and then we also have intention, hidden motivation. And so what is coming up here? Cycle increase. So I feel like this might be a pattern that you always try to increase materially. As we can see, this is kind of like a materialistic looking card in a way as well, because we also have, I believe these are like gemstones, and then leading up to a beautiful house. And so who you are this lifetime is someone who, the positives about this is you guys are here to experience material things this lifetime, which is not a bad thing. I want to point out it is not a bad thing to want to experience that. A lot of people in the spiritual community are like, oh, material things, they're bad, we can't have them. If we do, that means we're not a good person. That is not true. This is talking about this lifetime you came here to experience material things. And so who you are this lifetime is someone who will probably have an inclination to maybe you're even born in a wealthy family. If not, you're somebody who's going to achieve a lot or have a desire to achieve a lot this lifetime and to be surrounded by beautiful things and to have a materialistic experience. What you guys need to watch out for, though, is some hidden motivations, because we do also have I believe this is the intention? No, what is this? Yeah, intention card. Okay, so the intention card, and we have hidden motivations. And so what you guys need to watch out for is wanting to step on other people's toes or go kind of behind their back in a sneaky method in order for personal gains. You guys need to watch out for that. Yeah, definitely watch out for those things. And I feel like you guys, your whole purpose this lifetime is actually removing the mask. You guys can still enjoy material things, but I feel like you guys are almost masking your true emotions and your true thoughts and your true feelings, and you kind of mask it in a certain way. And so one of your purposes this lifetime is to unmask that. And it doesn't mean you have to stop enjoying material things. You can still do that. But for some reason this is coming up for you guys is to remove the mask. There could have been something that you guys been through in the past that might have hurt you with your confidence. It might have been a jab to your confidence that made you feel like you needed to wear a mask and needed to prove yourself. Okay, that's definitely what I'm getting from this pile, is this need to prove yourself in order to feel worthy. So this is your energy, because you might have been through something in a past life. This is totally what I'm picking up on. You guys have been through something either in this lifetime or a past lifetime where your worthiness and your confidence was struck down. Therefore, at the moment, you're putting up a mask in order to prove yourself to other people, in order to prove yourself to yourself. And so hidden motivations might not be necessarily that you are a conniving person at all, but it could just mean hidden motivations is, again, sort of like wearing a mask. So it's another card that's talking about wearing a mask in order to prove yourself. So this lifetime, I feel like you have this big energy of wanting to, like I said, prove yourself. And that's kind of like the main theme that's happening here. It doesn't mean that that's who you truly are, though. That's just the energy you're currently dealing with. And removing that and letting it go and realizing that you are worthy, you are confident, will be the biggest hallelujah to you ever. It doesn't mean you need to stop enjoying material things. You still can. And then we also have the Ace of Swords, again, reversed, which is kind of showing the clouds. This is kind of like, denying your inner thoughts, denying your inner logic. So there's a denial of your own logic where you guys might be thinking like, this might not be the right decision. I feel like you guys know deep down inside that you are worthy without all of this. But again, that's just like overcoming this mask. And then we also have Liberator reversed. So the shadow attributes of this card is imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring the legitimate constraints. And so, again, I don't want this to come across in a negative way. It just means that you guys are dealing with some stuff early on in life that you need to liberate yourself from. So you need to liberate yourself from feeling the need to wear a mask and prove yourself. You guys need to free yourself from putting all of your time and energy into material things in order to prove yourself, because you are worthy without this. What these cards are saying is that you're worthy without it. You are just as beautiful, amazing without all of this outside stuff. You can still enjoy the outside stuff, but don't put all of your meaning, all of your worthiness into your external world. Your worthiness comes from the inside. And in knowing that, you can still enjoy things, but know that your inner worth stems from you and who you choose to be and who you are personality-wise and soul-wise. Then we also have the stone over here. Oh my gosh, and then we also have the mask. So this is precisely what this is talking about. So this stone card over here, this is like, again, we're putting up a wall where we don't want people to see our real self. And again, it's just like the mask. We have this like wall that we're building where people don't get to truly know the real us. And that also makes for worse confidence issues, because now internally you know that you're not being your authentic self. And so anytime somebody likes you or compliments you, you don't take it as real, you don't take it as serious, because you know that they're not complimenting your true self because you haven't shown or revealed your true self. Therefore, compliments or achieving anything or achieving recognition for anything is worthless at that point. And so currently I feel like you guys are going through a lesson of that, is to realize that you need to take off the mask and you need to let your true colors show and your true darkness show. A lot of us are very open to being like, oh, here's all my colors, but a lot of us are very shy about revealing our shadow self, our shadow attributes, our qualities that we don't like of ourselves. We all have that, by the way, but it's about embracing that and being able to show that, and that is what taking off the mask is all about. Then we also have the Island of Solitude, and then we also have Green Man Synergy reversed. And so Island Solitude, I feel like you guys you might feel a little bit alone even when you're surrounded by so much. You guys might feel a little bit of like this, we can see almost this storm kind of brewing, but yet there's this beautiful sort of like essence of this island, but then there's a lot of cloud happening again. We have a lot of cloud over here, we have a lot of cloud over here. There's a lot of like cloudy type of energy happening, and what this is saying is that yes, there's again a mask. Clouds mask what is currently there, and so you guys, I feel like, need to start to break down the walls, break down the masks, break down the falsehoods, and break down the protection that you have, and let your heart truly shine. Your whole purpose right now is to do that, and so this is probably what you guys are dealing with. This is just a super honest, blunt reading about what you guys are probably going through. How to overcome that, though, is blossoming, as we can see in this card. It's reversed because that's currently not the energy that is happening right now, but it is where you guys need to go. So this is about accepting the true nature of things. This is about accepting your true inner energy, your true inner being, the true synergy between you being able to connect to other people, no matter who they are, what they look like, what they own. Being able to strip yourself away from having attachment to what you own. You can still own things, but don't put all of your worthiness and confidence in those things. That's just the point. And so this is about returning to the roots. This is also reminding me of roots. This is returning to who you really are at your core, and removing this sort of false illusion that you're giving off. And let's add some more cards on this to see what else we get. And I don't want you guys to feel like singled out or anything, because so many people go through times where they put on masks, and so many of us in society wear false masks in order to feel confident and stuff like that. So again, I don't want you guys to feel alone. All of us have this, all of us struggle with this, but currently the energy of why you guys probably picked this pile is probably because you're currently dealing with something like this. And so it's just bringing to awareness what you guys are currently going through. But don't feel like you're the only one. Don't feel bad about it. We all go through stuff like this. So let's see what else we get here. All right. So we have the full moon reversed. We have transformation reversed. We have Leo reversed. You guys might be a Leo or a fire sign for that matter, since we did have that come up. We also have Mercury, which means either Gemini or Virgo as well. You guys don't have to be those zodiac signs in order for this reading to resonate, by the way, but that's just coming up. So if you guys are, then that's just, again, deeper confirmation. So first off, transformation fell out first. And so this is talking about going through a very deep transformation of, removing those masks. And so that's kind of like what's coming up in your future. The fact that it's reversed right now probably means that you're not going through that at the moment, but probably means that you will be going through that sometime soon, is a full transformation of full realization. And this is inner realization. This is not pointing the finger at anyone else. This is pointing the finger internally. So that is what the transformation card talks about right here. Then we also have full moon. And so this is like, it could be indicating that this is going to happen around a full moon, which full moons happen once a month anyway. But it's also like this full energy. So the full moon illuminates so much in the dark, and it finally opens up to the dark. And so during a new moon, we see nothing, everything's hidden. But during the full moon, this is what illuminates the darkness. And so this is taking off the mask and illuminating your shadow self, illuminating your real self that you're currently hiding. It's illuminating anything that's hidden. The fact that we have Mercury is finally being able to come out and communicate your real self. Being able to face that and share it with the world doesn't mean you have to like completely come out and do an embarrassing like social media post or something like that. That's not what that means, but it's about starting to take off the mask and be real. When you're communicating with your friends, be like, this is, how I truly feel. This is who I truly am on the inside. Remove the current masks that you wear and allow your true vulnerability to show. Leo upside down is letting the ego down. So Leo is usually very attached to material things, and the fact that it's upside down is talking about it's time to let your ego go. And yes, he's probably gonna be kicking and screaming like, oh my God, don't do that or whatever. The lion might be roaring. It might be a very difficult thing. Of course, we all go through obstacles like this, but it allows for so much growth. So I feel like you guys are going to go through a massive growth period where you take off your crown basically, and you start to allow yourself to be vulnerable, and you take away your attachment to material things, and you allow yourself to be vulnerable. So that is what is coming up for you guys in the future. And I do feel like you're going to I want to end this on a positive note. So through this, after this, Leo's going to be right side up. The full moon's going to be right side up. Transformation's going to be right side up. Synergy man's going to be right side up. So with this, you're going to gain real inner confidence where you don't feel like you have to wear a mask, and you're going to feel so good about yourself. You're going to feel transformed. You're going to feel like you went through a metamorphosis of unlike any other. You're going to feel like so confident in illuminating your full self, and you're going to feel good about doing that. You're going to really connect with your own emotions, be able to share them, and allow the big waves to come in, because as we see, the waves are just kind of going crazy at the bottom of this card, meaning that, yes, once the fullness gets revealed and once you do open up, it's going to let the floodgates out. It might be very emotional, but soon it will calm down. It's the moon just, these waves have been building up for a while. It's finally time to let them loose. If you hold on to it for any longer, it's just going to build up more and more. So the sooner the better. But honestly, divine timing is always at play. So just whenever you guys are ready to finally, really reveal and open up and let down your walls, let down your guard, that kind of jazz. I'm really feeling that from this reading. I hope this guys helped you out. I'm sorry this wasn't the most super positive, but there is positives in this, and I really hope that you guys can see the positive that's in this reading. I never mean to offend you guys in any way by any means. I only do these out of love and out of pure light. So if you guys did choose this pile, and if it is resonating for you, maybe that's a very beautiful thing, and it's opening up doors of beautiful transformation. I feel like we all go through a moment of this in our lives. All of us do, so you're not the only one, so don't feel bad about that. We literally all go through this. So Love you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video.